What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 148 of the Clever and Original Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kody Misialek. Alongside me, the man with a plan, Jayden Reinhart.
Yeah, here I am. My plan was to actually be here today.
Woo for actually being here.
Yeah.
We usually have some other guy here.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is or what his name is.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, he's not here.
Nah.
How am I supposed to remember his name? Is like JJ or some
Something
weird
like
thing,
that.
like Go-Go.
Go-Go.
Yeah, I think it was Go-Go.
Or Gigi.
Gigi.
Go-Go. It was
Randy.
Randy. That was it.
Yeah, Randy.
Randy.
Poor Randy.
Yeah.
Out of town, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Something with rocks, I think.
And I think all of his tires went flat and his car exploded. But he was inside a McDonald's getting beat up by old people.
Okay.
So he was safe during the explosion, but
he wasn't safe because he was getting beat up by old people
in McDonald's,
because,
yeah.
that's what happens. You go into McDonald's at like 10 o'clock in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only old people there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're getting coffee,
Oh,
and they're like, "You bet you're stepping on the wrong turf."
This is old people territory. Can't be here. So
Now he's in the hospital.
and he can't drive back because all his tires popped and his car exploded.
Right. So he's
In
stuck.
that order.
No, JJ's doing something with rocks, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Geology.
So if you haven't listened to us before, we are the Clever and Original Podcast. We talk about comic book movie type stuff, video game type stuff, particularly in that order.
Yeah.
This week, however, we don't have that many movie stuff, that much. We only had one potential topic. So we decided, let's go all into video games. With E3 coming up this next week, we'll have a lot to talk about. In fact, we do have quite a bit to talk about still. So let's get on with it. So the Pokemon Company had a press conference in Japan this past week, and in it they announced 2 new Pokemon games for the Nintendo Switch. They announced Pokemon Quest, which is a mobile sort of game where you've got like these cube type Pokemon art, but in cube form.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like a standard mobile game, just point and tap, have them do stuff. I think it's coming out for handheld too, but it's already out for the Nintendo Switch on the eShop. It's free.
Mm-hmm. Give that a shot.
I think you can spend money, it's definitely like a mobile game.
Yeah.
And then there was the bigger announcement, which was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. They look very like mainline Pokemon games, don't you think?
Yeah.
But they aren't the main series. They did announce that there would be a core Pokemon game coming out in 2019. But Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee kind of are playing off the whole Pokemon Go sort of gameplay and craze. So it's for the Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a standard Pokemon game, except you use like your Joy-Con to like throw a Pokeball, kind of, use motion control for that. Mm-hmm. Catching Pokemon is similar to how you do it in Pokemon Go. No battling Pokemon, wild Pokemon, that is, to catch them. Pikachu and Eevee, whichever game you choose, they will follow you from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place in Kanto. And what else? There's trainer battling, so you will be able to battle.
Yeah.
And they also announced a peripheral that's like a Joy-Con, except it's a Pokeball. And you can sort of use it like the Pokewalker, if you remember playing Pokemon Heart Gold or Soul Silver, where you can put your Pokemon in the Pokewalker and take it with you and get extra things for walking with it. Mm-hmm. Same with this, except it's like an actual ball with sound and lights and everything. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are our thoughts on both these Pokemon games?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to give Quest a shot at the very least, because I mean, it's free, so I just won't spend the money on the loot boxes or whatever they have. But I mean, that looks like I could spend a little while on it, maybe a couple hours at best, but I'll try it for sure. Doesn't look terrible.
Yeah, I already played a bit of it. It's all right. Nothing spectacular. I think I would rather.
It's a mobile game. But.
I think I would rather play it on my phone. It's not out for mobile devices yet. It's out for Switch right now, and I played it on my Switch, and I would use like stick, but I'm like, this is meant for like touchscreen because like you have to move the analog stick, so that like when you use the analog stick, it like moves this cursor hand over things, and then you just press like A or whatever. So you might as well just tap it, and I don't know, I think it's kind of bulky for like what this game is trying to do, which I think would be much better on mobile. So I'll get it when it comes out on Play Store. I mean, I'll still try it a bit. I only played it once for like the introductory stuff, the tutorial. I think it's, from my first initial reaction from it, it's better for mobile, but we'll see. I mean, it should be interesting. As far as Let's Go Pokemon, or Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, looks interesting. Like, it's a 3D Pokemon game, looks like Sun and Moon, except for like Switch. It's also in Kanto, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if that means the next Pokemon game, the one that's coming out next year in 2019, will be placed in Kanto, because they went to the whole of building actually building Kanto in 3D, which they hadn't up until this point.
Right. So it makes sense if they utilize that.
Right. Going back, using that. Otherwise, they said the game was really based off Pokemon Yellow. Like, in that it was more for people who had never played Pokemon before, like people who were into like the anime, and they had Pikachu follow you. From what I heard, is that this game is more for like beginners, and so like with battling and stuff, there's no like grinding out in the wild, because you don't fight with your Pokemon. You don't fight wild Pokemon. They said the stats and attacks are going to be more simplified. I feel like it's just going to be similar to maybe Pokemon Go. Like, I guess it'll just learn attacks, and you won't get to like actually control it, or you won't actually do much in the way of like progressing your Pokemon. I mean, there's a set progression versus like training it to do certain things, like a certain attack, or to get certain stats, like you can in the mainline Pokemon games. So kind of a simplified stats, I think.
Yeah, somewhere in between Pokemon Go and like a core Pokemon game.
Right.
Not quite. A little more simplified, but
yeah,
takes advantage of the Switch controls, the motion controls.
Yeah, and it connects to Pokemon Go. I think it's a way to get people who play Pokemon Go, because that was a big phenomenon, to move over from Pokemon Go into like a main series Pokemon game.
Right, like people that are way into Pokemon Go could see this and be like, oh shit, I remember Pokemon Go, I played that for such a long time, I should get a Switch.
Right.
And then get this game. And then all of a sudden they have a Switch, and they're getting Mario, and they're getting Zelda. And...
Oh yeah, Pokemon is like the console seller for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, DS is fine, it does okay. And then Pokemon hits it, and just, people rush to buy. Like, whenever a new Pokemon game is released, just more, like, probably a surge in, like, console sales for Nintendo. Especially with it being on, like, a main console now, instead of just, like, the handheld DS, Game Boy, etc. Should be huge.
Yeah.
So that must be something really good for Nintendo. However, I think this could also sell people on a Nintendo Switch. Like, it looks interesting enough. Like, I'm skeptical a little bit, because like it's not a main series Pokemon game, which is what I wanted.
Yeah.
But it looks interesting enough where I think people would be willing to buy a Switch to do it.
Right. Or like a parent for their kids, maybe.
Right. Pokemon Go. Hey, that's Pokemon, and it has Go. Go.
Yeah. And
So
they can
like
play
it
at
sounds
home
like
when
it's
they're not out and about. And
right, and you can
keep
take
the
it
kid
with
busy.
on the car ride or whatever when your kids. Just make them shut up. I know that's what I did when I was a kid. It's just like, okay, I could argue with like my sister, or I could play Pokemon. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, looks interesting. Also, the Pikachu and Eevee are following you. I think it's interesting that Pokeball that looks like really good
Yeah.
compared to what they've done like in the past with Pokemon peripherals.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely like, because it looks literally like in the anime where like they touch the Pokeball and it gets bigger. It looks like the Pokeball exactly like before it gets bigger.
Right, yeah, like a
it's pretty
small
spot
version.
on. I'm assuming it's gonna be really like durable, since it's meant to be like taken everywhere
Yeah,
with
it
you.
looks a lot more like the quality of like the Joy-Con almost.
Yeah.
I had noticed. I think the button in the middle of the Pokeball is like like an analog stick and a button.
Mm-hmm.
So like you move it around and then you can press it in. Because they showed off people playing with it, the game with it.
Yeah, and they're just holding it if you're watching a
right.
YouTube video like this and just moving around.
Right. I also think it's cool that you can take it with you, kind of like the Pokewalker. I know I did that. I mean, we did that when we had that. And I like how it makes noises. Although I thought it was kind of cute and funny when they would like rub the Pokeball, like Pikachu is like like an animal would or whatever. That's cute.
As long as that's like something you can turn on and off, so you're not like sitting there like in a library, and all of a sudden from your bag just Pikachu. Like
yeah. So yeah.
That'd be bad.
Whichever game you choose, you get the starter for whichever game you choose. So let's go Pikachu. You'll get Pikachu. They'll follow you. If you get Let's Go Eevee, Eevee will follow you. Also, other Pokemon will follow you in this game too that you get. So like they showed a Gengar following a trainer that had it. Also, it's interesting to see how 2-player will work.
Yeah, because they kind of showed it off when they were catching a Pokemon. If you like time it, apparently like throw it at the same time, then you like give you an excellent, like, oh, you definitely caught it, like.
Right.
But beyond that, like, I don't know, I guess they each control a character. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I think you won't be able to evolve Pikachu or Eevee if your starter, at least your starter Pikachu and Eevee.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is like really unfortunate.
Yeah. Because
like,
since you can have other Pokemon follow you anyways.
Yeah.
Like it would have been cool.
I mean, it's
have
like
them evolvable.
Eevee is like Pikachu's like the mascot of Pokemon, but like if there's something that represents, things in the game, like Eevee represents evolution, like that's the name Eevee, right?
Yeah.
And it has like 9 different evolutions, I think, right now. Let's see, the first 3, 2 more. So that's 3, 5, 7, 8. Okay, 8. It's like it's supposed to evolve.
Yeah, that's exactly what it does.
It's like the whole, everyone's like evolving in one order, and then Eevee's like different ways,
Yeah.
But I mean that sucks. I think, but yeah.
Yeah, it definitely decentivizes Eevee.
I mean, yeah, I think I'll still get it because I like Eevee more than Pikachu.
That's the thing. Like, I was trying to like decide in my head, like, which one are people gonna get more? Definitely Pikachu, right? And I started thinking about it more. I'm like, no, maybe not. I think people are kind of tired of Pikachu.
I don't know. I still think people are gonna get Pikachu. People like Pikachu.
It'll be like red,
like
blue,
Pokemon Yellow, right? Like people like the fact that Pikachu follows you.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, it'll be pretty divided. I think, like Team Valor and Team Mystic.
Oh, I wonder if that's gonna be in this game.
Oh man,
Since it's Pokemon Let's Go, connection with Go.
that'd be kind of cool. Since they're already updating it like a 3D world, might as well kind of splash that in there.
Yeah. Team Rocket's also going to be in this, which is interesting.
Yeah, they did show that a little bit. So, assumedly, there's going to be a little bit of story. I mean, as far as Pokemon story goes, anyways.
Right.
But Team Rocket will assumedly be doing a bad, and you'll stop them. Is my
Those
guess.
baddies.
Yeah, doing bad things.
Do we have anything else to talk about on this Pokemon event?
No.
Do you want... what do we think will happen in the next Pokemon game, the 2019 one?
Like the core game?
Yeah,
the core
yeah.
Pokemon.
I think it might be like a remake. Well, not like a remake, but like a reboot of like Red and Blue. I think that'd be interesting,
That'd be cool.
Be set in Kanto.
Yeah.
You know what would be awesome? Is if they did that, but then instead you went to Johto after you defeated the Elite Four. Kind of like the opposite of Silver and Gold, where you did Johto and then went to Kanto.
Oh, yeah.
Like starting Kanto, beat it, then go to Johto. I think that'd be cool.
That'd be pretty sweet. That'd be awesome.
That's what I want. Like, I think like that's one of like my favorite things, because like why I like Gold and Silver so much is like you beat the region and then you go to a second region. Like you think the game's over, but then it's not. There's this whole like, it is like the main story I guess is over,
right?
But there's a whole secondary story that's like afterwards. That's like basically a new game, because it's like the same amount of content basically.
Yeah, you can get more gyms, more badges.
Yeah, and you can just continue on with your story, which I really like.
And it does work out really well too, because a lot of times when you've beaten a Pokemon game, your Pokemon are only around level 50 or 60, and so you can easily do a second area.
Right.
Have still like 40 levels at least.
Yeah, and it's like, I want to get up to 100, right?
Yeah, right.
Like,
exactly. That's what that's the goal. That's what you should do if you're a good Pokemon trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I think that'd be a pretty cool idea for sure.
But yeah, I think it will be that. Rumor has it that it's gonna take place in Italy, sort of. Like, how that Kalos was kind of like based in France.
Right.
Unova was like New York. They're all based on real life places. I think rumor has it that it's going to be based in Italy. I kind of hope that's not true, but I'm open to it just because, it's still probably going to be good.
Yeah, for sure. As long as the main idea is there.
Yeah. All right. I think that does it for Pokemon. Let's move on. Fallout had a teaser this past week. They announced Fallout 76, which they'll share more about at E3. But it looks like it's taking place around Fallout 4 in Vault 76, obviously. Don't worry, you didn't miss like 72 Fallout games. Rumors have it it's an mainly online game. I think they said similar to like H1Z1 or something, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know H1Z1, I guess, but stuff like that. Kind of like an online area, and then focus on building settlements. I'm not that big into Fallout, but interesting enough. Jay, you're bigger into Fallout. What do you think of this?
It'll be interesting to see exactly what they do. Because this is like the off year, like when we got Fallout 3 right, and then next year we got Fallout New Vegas, because they got two different people two different like companies. I can't remember their names off the top of my head. ZeniMax
and is ZeniMax the main one?
No, I think ZeniMax the
okay. I think it's a Bethesda game studio.
Yeah, I think it's just Bethesda and then ZeniMax. You don't quote me on that. I think that's right, but I think it's ZeniMax's turn now. Because Bethesda did Fallout 4, so if that's the case, it could be like vastly different. Obviously, there's a lot of jokes online about like, oh, battle royale. Like, I hope not. That'd be awful. Obviously, everyone wants like a role-playing game still. There wasn't a whole lot of information from the teaser. Obviously, they're saving that all to E3. I just hope it's not one of those things that I get like really hyped about and then just crushed.
Yeah.
And like I was like, oh, it's a mobile game. Hey. Oh, great. Yeah, any more of those?
Yeah. Oh, looks interesting. I'm probably not gonna get it. But I'm interested to see how it pans out because, like, obviously people are wanting the whole RPG. They want another Fallout game, right?
Yeah.
Like Fallout 4 and Fallout 3, and I guess New Vegas. And it should be interesting to see how that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, interesting to see where it could go. There's especially online.
Yeah, if it was mainly online, that would make it more of an MMO, which would be
maybe like Elder Scrolls Online,
kind of something like that. Maybe, yeah. It'd be and not quite like World of Warcraft. So you can kill any one of the like enemy faction or anything like that. I doubt there'd be any kind of like open PvP aspect. Maybe like a matchmaking. That feels really weird to say with like a Fallout game. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really hard to call it because obviously it does have very close graphics to Fallout 4, but they're both using the same engine, right? And if ZeniMax and Bethesda started it around the same time,
Like,
they're
to
gonna
me,
use the same engine.
not knowing that much or not being that in Fallout, it feels like it would be like a PvE sort of game,
Right.
with like mainly like co-op sort of.
That could be
things, or
kind of cool. Like have like a bunch of players versus like a bunch of super mutants or ghouls or something.
Right. If that were the case.
If that were the case.
Focuses on building settlements, so.
That wasn't my favorite part, admittedly. I did kind of just sort of skip over that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I obviously modded my Fallout 4. Everyone did that. I got a mod where like, so I could still kind of utilize settlements. If I wanted like a building, instead of having to build it like entirely, like foundation, walls, like the bed, it's just like presets. Like house, like stereotypical house for person, so I could like still get the benefits of having one but not have to put in all the extra time. Because I don't know, that stuff's less fun to me in most cases. So I'm not super excited to hear that's like their focus, but I'm also not that surprised because I know a lot of people did enjoy it, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Other people can like things I don't. That's okay.
No, that's not okay. Stop liking things I don't like. Yeah. Anything else we have on Fallout 76?
No.
No? All right, let's
Have more to
move
talk
on.
about at E3.
So, Sonic announced a new game, Sonic Team Racing.
Yeah.
Said it's coming this winter. Looks a little different from like Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, which is more like a kart racer, but this might be a kart racer. I mean, it's gotta be, right?
I think it is because they do kind of use like that intro that you see in a lot of like Forza games. It's like zooming in like the headlights and the tire and oh look how cool this car looks. But it'd be really weird if it was like some like weird hyper realistic like driving game, but you're just Sonic in the seat. Like it's got to be like a kart game, right? Maybe not like Mario Kart where you're like throwing shit at each other. If it is a kart game, that's probably a feature, but
right. I'm wondering if it's just like Sonic characters because like they had Sega All Stars, which there's Sonic and Sega All Stars.
yeah.
I mean, the fact that Sonic has to be there is kind of like
right.
a huge.
Because he is the All-Star.
So this is different. This is Team Sonic Racing. So is it like only going to be Sonic characters then, and its own different sort of racing game?
That could be, yeah. I mean, maybe Eggman's got some kind of race car plot.
Oh, speaking of
that
which,
he solved
actually,
with race cars.
Sega and Sonic Team All-Star Racing is actually on Xbox. Xbox Gold Live Games with Gold.
Games with Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's free if you have gold. So go get that right now. If you want, it's free. But
Transformed is pretty fun.
So yeah, I don't know. This seems interesting. It was just a teaser. I expect there's probably going to be more at E3 since they're saying it's coming this winter. So clearly there's enough of it built that there's actually something there.
Yeah, I did like, as far as specifically Sonic Racing's. Try that again. I did like, as far as specifically Sonic Racing games go. That's actually kind of a mouthful. Transformed, the All-Stars. Was there like a Sonic All-Stars Racing and like also a Transformed one?
I think so.
Okay.
I think there are two.
I did like Transformed because it put something new on the table. You know, like your car transformed into a boat and an airplane. There are like different parts of the map. Kind of like how in Mario Kart 8 you have like zero gravity parts and stuff. It felt kind of like that, like a new mechanic of some sort that made it a little more interesting. I hope this game has that. Like it's not just another, kart racing game.
Yeah. I mean, I think you almost have to now. Like kart racing games are getting so complex. Like how we said, Transformed. Mario Kart is like upping the whole thing. Mario Kart 8 is arguably the best Mario Kart game out there.
Yeah.
The whole zero gravity sort of thing is really cool and adds something new to it. So yeah, I think it would almost have to, because it can't just be a go around a course,
Unless it's kind of like pod racing.
Like pod racing,
or like F-Zero, I guess, where it's just about going really fast. I mean, it's
a Sonic game. Gotta go fast.
Wouldn't be too unheard of,
right?
But and just like get boosts in your cars, like maybe not like specific pieces of it are destroyable. Like hyper realistic. Go away from that maybe, but just like your car as a whole has like a health bar,
right?
And if you keep running into shit, and it explodes and you respawn. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that might
be interesting. There's a lot of stuff they could do. I mean, it's not totally a tunnel visioned idea.
Right.
Kart racing, pretty open ended.
All right, I think that's all we have to say, really.
Yeah.
Right. All right, moving on. E3 is this next week.
Yeah.
And this will be our juice topic, the juice. So with E3 this next week. What do we expect? What are our predictions? What do we think is going to happen this week at E3?
I predict the next FIFA game and the next NBA game and the next NFL game and the next like baseball game, I guess, and maybe basketball. There's going to be a lot of sports. There's going to be a sports section where I go and get like a second bag of chips. I ran out of my first bag of chips.
Yeah. So why don't we break this down? So, there are going to be 3 press conferences before we record next week. There's going to be EA on Saturday, but Xbox, or Microsoft, and Bethesda. Those are all before we record next week. So EA. I think it's going to be obviously sports. That's going to take up half the thing.
I hope they do that first.
That's not going to
and make
happen.
it small and just get it out of the way.
They're going to talk about Battlefield 5.
That's probably going to be the first thing.
Since they announced that.
Probably have people play it again like they did last
year.
I
wonder if they'll announce a Star Wars game. They haven't done they have Star Wars games in development.
Right. I mean, hopefully if they do, it's something different. Like not a Battlefront.
Right, like the thing is, like, remember they got that stuff and everyone's like, oh cool, they're putting every studio they have on it, and then it's all like it's just Battlefront so far.
Yeah,
I think they haven't done anything else, right?
No, I don't think so. No, just been that twice.
Yeah. So that, I guess, Anthem.
Yeah, there'll probably be something about that. The hype is worn down by now.
Yeah,
I'm not super.
It's a sort of a Destiny sort of game.
Right, and I already got Destiny 2 and people to play it with. And even that, like, Destiny 2 is not like my favorite game or anything. Really, I only enjoy it because I'm playing with people.
You know what? I forgot to mention. I forgot to bring this up in the news.
Oh.
But Bungie Bungie announced that they're teaming up with another production, like publishing company that's not Activision, to create a new IP, like something that's not Destiny. And I think it's going to be more story based than Destiny is.
Not like an MMO. That'd be
right,
cool.
yeah, and not like constantly online sort of thing.
Hmm?
And sounds like, from what I heard, more back to like roots, so like their Halo stuff, like, when they did, I think it was, what is it, Myth or Oni or stuff like those earlier games that they did in Halo. Go back to those sort of games. So that's cool.
That'd be sweet, yeah. I mean, step one, go to an alien planet, because then you can just like make everything up.
Yeah.
And start the game there.
Yeah. So that's cool. But yeah, Anthem, sort of Destiny, sort of clone. Probably will show it.
Yeah, they'll show it. They'll have gameplay.
They might throw a bone to like some indie person, like when they had Yarny or whatever that one year.
Yeah.
Maybe Peggle 3.
Hype.
Peggle 2. Jump up, hit the ground, and everyone's like, what the fuck? That's so awkward.
It'd be cool with Sonic kind of in a racing game coming out here if there's Crash Team Racing. I kind of doubt it.
Is that cool. That's Activision, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. And then Xbox, I'm gonna predict that Xbox is gonna have the most games at E3, but Nintendo will have the most first-party games.
Yeah.
So like Xbox will probably show the most games out of everybody, but like Nintendo will have the most exclusive games. Like Xbox is gonna show like third-party games like Battlefield, Anthem, maybe Assassin's Creed, those sort of games. Also, are they going to announce Halo at this E3? They haven't even talked about it at all.
Yeah, I mean, Halo 5 was pretty big flop, right?
It was all right. I don't think... I mean, I think it was a flop in terms that it went down from, like, the series.
I mean, it's Halo, so
but, like, it's still... I think it's still sold well. Okay. But, I don't think it was as good as, like, previous entries. In regards to sales, that is. I think it's better than Halo 4, but... I
mean, it'd be cool if they showed some Halo thing, I guess, but I'm not really expecting it.
See, I'm expecting it. Like, it's been 3 years since Halo 5 came out. Like, that's a long time, like, without anything about Halo. Like, they announced Halo 5, like, the year after Halo 4 came out. They haven't said anything about Halo 6. Nothing.
It's true.
They just said it's like they just said like they're making a Halo game or something, like the next Halo game or whatever. But we already knew that.
Right. Obviously, it's a cash cow,
right? So like, I would be surprised if we don't. I would be like, the thing is, like, it should be coming out this year based on like Halo time frame, like a game every 3 years, or a main series game every 3 years. So I'm wondering if it's actually coming out this year or it's getting delayed to like next year. I guess it won't. If it never doesn't get a release date, it can't really be delayed.
Right.
But or maybe they're doing like the Fallout sort of thing and announcing it the year of and just releasing it the same year, like with Fallout 4.
That would probably be a good move by them. All things considered, because Halo 5 didn't take off extremely well. It wasn't praised or anything, It just did okay. And so to kind of keep the hype around.
Right, yeah.
Instead of hyping up too early for a game that already doesn't have a whole lot of hype anymore.
Yeah, and people have higher expectations. Like the thing is, like, you let it sit there for a long time. People's expectations just can't be met.
Right.
Like... Remember, I think the game that, like, for me is, like, representative of this so much is No Man's Sky.
Yeah. Like,
that game got announced at, like, the Game Awards in, like, I want to say 2012, 13. And then was, like, on there for, like, till 2016, 2017. When did No Man's Sky get released? Was it? It was 2016, right?
It might have been. I thought it was
Yeah,
2017.
or 2017. Yeah,
I don't
either
know.
way, it was like
Whatever.
3 years, 3 or 4 years, like a long time. And it's like people are expecting something, and then hype totally misses the mark.
Yeah.
And like Halo kind of, I think, sort of did that too, because like, they would finish a game would just come out, and then at the next E3 they'd be like, oh, here's the other one, we're showing it off already. So like you're almost always expecting to see a Halo.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, like with games that have been going on this long, aside from like sports games, and I'd say Call of Duty probably is an exemption too, but with like Halo, or maybe Dragon Age, not really, mostly Halo, with like that style of like coming out frequently enough but not so frequently, like their audience is aging, right? Like the people who played the first few Halo games, and now they're kind of having to like either get a new audience or keep appeasing this new audience, and they're getting older and older. Like Call of Duty is just so watered down that it doesn't matter anymore,
Right, it's so broad that
it's just guns, shoot people, deathmatch. Like also sometimes zombies.
right, like Halo is interesting. Like Call of Duty is like mainly multiplayer, right?
Right, that's why people get it. Your audience is always there.
People don't even play the campaign. Like Halo is like, that's different. Like there's people who just play the campaign. There's people who just play the multiplayer. But like it's like Halo is like, I think, to me at least, and what I think, just because of the way like Halo, the campaign is the most important part of the Halo series, the story.
Right.
Like that's where it, made itself and made it separate itself from everything else, right? The sci-fi sort of story. Like the first Halo game didn't have online multiplayer. It barely even had multiplayer. Like,
right.
That was like a last minute thing that they made like a month before the game released. Like they didn't even think about it. So yeah, I mean, I think they should be going to that, and that, in my opinion, would get the older audience. The people who like the games, or like originally, their audience. Because like I think older audiences want something to be invested into. Versus like just in and out sort of thing.
Right.
Especially as something that they've already put a lot of time into.
Yeah, I feel like anyone who's started on Halo 1, 2, or 3 would probably have a similar opinion too, of wanting like the story gameplay over like this just watered down multiplayer that we got in Halo 5.
Right.
And like an interesting idea for a game type like PvP and PvE in like the same setting, but still, I don't know.
Yeah. Should be interesting.
It'll be one way or the other for sure. Either back to its roots, or it's just gonna be more watered down shooter. Come by our game, kids, kind of game.
I also, I think we'll see at least one new IP from Xbox.
At least.
I think, hopefully. I mean, I expect to hear like Gears of War, Halo, right. But like we want something new. There's probably gonna be a Forza game. But yeah, that's what I'm expecting from them. Bethesda, obviously Fallout 76.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna announce the next Elder Scrolls game or not.
Possibly. They're almost definitely gonna show off something from ESO because they still have that.
They also have that like Starbound or whatever. They're like a sci-fi RPG they're doing.
Yeah, I can't remember what the
Starfield maybe.
Starfield?
I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't remember.
I remember everyone thought that was gonna be like a big announcement at the end of their thing last year, and it wasn't.
Right.
Because it was all like space themed, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's being announced," and then nothing.
Right. Yeah.
But that'd be cool if we hear more about that for sure. It'd be nice to get a new IP in there. Obviously, The Elder Scrolls is fun. Obviously, Fallout's fun, but I like newness,
Yeah.
new things.
Then we got Ubisoft, probably a Just Dance game at least. Assassins.
They'll open up on Just Dance, and then the head
They'll-
dancer will get assassinated.
I think they'll announce they'll announce the new Assassin's Creed game, but I don't think it's coming out this year because the Origins just came out last year, and they are no longer doing the every year thing.
Right. They'll probably talk about it still. Well, check out some early gameplay.
Yeah. I expect them to have some unexpected announcement. They seem to do that every year to like grab people's attention. Like it all started with like Watch Dogs. That was unexpected. And then, The Division was unexpected. And like I think last year it was Steep,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Something like that. That'd be cool, yeah.
Sony, the rumor is that they're only going to show 4 games. And that's like Spider-Man. I don't even know what the other games are.
Another God of War game.
I like
Maybe not.
the
Dad of War. More like.
right. But yeah, from what it sounds like, is they're just gonna show off like
just a few games.
Yeah, like a few main PlayStation games that are coming out.
Okay.
Like Ghost of Tsushima, I guess.
Right.
Death Stranding, Kojima's game.
Yawn.
So yeah, I mean, obviously excited for Spider-Man. That's coming out in September. Hopefully, we get a lot more gameplay.
I think it would be cool because with most of those games, especially Death Stranding, we don't know a whole lot about it. And so I think it'd be better for Sony to give like in-depth like looks at all these games coming out. I'm excited for Spider-Man, so I want more information on that. I have no idea what Death Stranding is, so I want more information. Like just more information, less like little teaser things,
Right.
Kind of go all in on a few games.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's risky, but hey, if the games are really good, that could be awesome too.
Yeah.
I think Bethesda did that last year. They only focused on like, was it last year that they had Fallout 4? Fallout 4 didn't just come out this past year.
I think it was the year before that.
Yeah.
It was the year when Fallout 4 came out.
Right, yeah, there was like that, like Wolfenstein 2, Doom.
Yeah.
And then like, I think there was one more thing, but I don't remember.
But they're
Unreal Tournament.
Right. I think even if there were other like in that year of Bethesda, I think even if there were other titles that they showed off, they weren't have been remembered anyways. Like Fallout and Wolfenstein and Doom would have far outshadowed them.
So I think from what it sounds like, Sony's just gonna do that. I think they'll show Destiny because they still have the like licensing deal like to advertise and like.
Oh right.
Like whenever there's Destiny commercials, it's like PlayStation, even though it's on Xbox and stuff.
Right.
Similar to how like Call of Duty used to do that with Xbox, although they do that now with Microsoft. I'm not Microsoft, PlayStation.
Yeah.
So we could probably see Call of Duty there too. But I think it sounds like it's mainly 4 games or so.
Okay.
Square Enix has their own conference, but I seriously think it's just going to be like Kingdom Hearts. Like here's a release date, maybe here's another world or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't
like some Final Fantasy
stuff. Rumor has it they're making a Avengers game.
Right. I remember we talked about that.
Yeah. So maybe that might show up.
That would be cool to hear more about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone likes it. It'd be a good time for it.
Yeah.
Infinity War just came out. People are psyched. Yeah.
Yeah, and Avengers 4 coming out next year, so I'm in perfect timing.
I'd say so.
So there's that, and then there's Nintendo. We have to see stuff about Metroid Prime 4, right? They announced it last year.
I hope so.
They've got to be showing it off, right?
I mean, it's such a fun style of game. Like, get it finished. Finish it. Let me buy it. Take my money, damn it.
Also, they announced Super Smash Bros. This past year, or just like a couple months ago.
Nintendo will probably, at least more information.
And it's coming out this year. So, like, there should be a lot of at least a fair bit. You know,
right? You'd think. I mean,
it showed like the Inklings in there, in the reveal trailer, so we expect them to be a new character. I would expect a lot of the characters from Wii U to be in there, except for maybe like a couple of the, third-party characters like Ryu. I think maybe Bayonetta is still safe because Nintendo has got the exclusive on Bayonetta games. But like Ryu, like Cloud, those type of characters.
Right. Well, and I mean, with games like, like kart racing games we talked about earlier, or like fighting games like this, there's no reason to just go all out and like put all the characters that you own in there. Because the more characters you add, the more likely someone's going to be like, oh, I know that character, and pick up the game.
Right.
So it just makes sense. I mean, obviously there's coding limits. Like they can't just have every character they own ever in the game. But
I hope basically if it's similar to the Wii U, like in like roster, and then maybe like add like ice climbers, I'd be fine.
Yeah. Excite Bike, playable character.
Yeah. Because like, to be honest, I don't know what else they can add. I guess they could add the arms characters.
Yeah.
They could update Link's look to like Breath of the Wild Link. Because they haven't like really updated it since the Twilight Princess sort of look.
They could have 8-bit Link.
Yeah. Oh, they do have Toon Link, right?
Yeah, and Toon Link and just Link, I think they call him. The regular human Link.
Right.
Could have Breath of the Wild Link.
Just said that?
You did.
Yeah.
Right.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought of it first.
All right. I don't think that's how it works. But yeah, I could do that. But yeah, I mean, it's Smash Bros. I'm gonna get it.
Did you say Mario Odyssey?
No, I didn't. But
Could have that one.
Yeah, with the Cappy or whatever.
That might be a little overpowered if you like throw it at a hero who doesn't wear a hat and just like walk him off the edge.
No, I mean, I don't think they would do that. But that would be interesting, right? Like, you throw it at someone and then you capture them for like a little bit. I would feel like there would have to be a way for them to gain control.
Mash A and
or something, you know.
Like
because that would be OP.
Yeah. I control you now. You're gonna walk off the edge,
right?
Or into this like stage trap.
Yeah. So it should be interesting for that. What else could Nintendo be showing? Obviously Pokemon Let's Go, I would think.
There's gonna be, at least I would say 3, like new ideas, like new IPs or new ideas of some sort.
I feel like that's
because they're all over that most of the time,
right?
It's like their favorite thing to do.
Rumor has there's a new Donkey Kong Country game that might be revealed.
That'd be sweet. Donkey Kong Country's pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe the 3D Donkey Kong game.
Right. I'm wondering, Kirby All Stars just came out recently. So it's like usually there's like one or a couple of those games like that with like series regulars. I'm wondering if there's like a Yoshi game maybe coming, or like maybe another Star Fox. Oh, there was a rumor about Star Fox Racing, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, I want to say, on this.
Right.
So that would probably be announced there, if anywhere, right?
That's true.
I mean,
that'd be cool. New F-Zero. I mean, Star Fox.
That would be cool.
Probably going to be really close to F-Zero.
Yeah.
Just with their IPs in general and the close relations between their designs. But that'd be cool. I'd one of those.
Do you think they're going to mention 3DS? Are they going to mention 3DS? And are they going to show any new 3DS games?
I feel like... I mean, I feel like with Nintendo being Nintendo, a few of the games are just going to be like for DS or Switch, you know? And so it'll be mentioned at least a little bit there with just some games that you can play on either system. Otherwise, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Because the Switch is kind of like their system. I mean, obviously they're not switching over that quick, right? They still have full support for DS and whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Because the Switch is basically a handheld gaming device.
Right.
That's also a
Try
console.
and push people that way. I think there's going to be, just because
There'll be a
feel
few
like-
things because people still own it. They'll spend money on it, but they're probably going to be pushing the Switch pretty hard. I don't think there might be like a new IP, maybe, possibly, but not much. I wouldn't say. I think at least 80% is going to the Switch.
Oh, and
of
then
the conference.
One other thing for the Nintendo conference, I think Bayonetta 3 is probably going to show up. They have announced it already. So that would be cool. So, I mean, that's what I think. Who do you think is going to have the best conference this year?
My money is going to be on... Because who had it last year?
Let's see. So like Xbox.
I think Nintendo kind of had it right with the Switch.
Yeah, I think so. They had Mario Odyssey. They announced Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. Talking about like a new Pokemon game in development, at least to kind of satiate those people.
Right. They showed off ARMS, I think, or they announced Pokken Tournament for the.
Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo's been good recently.
But it feels weird because the way Nintendo's like positioned, I always think of them as separate from E3, just really close.
Right?
E3.
Yeah.
Like,
they're on Tuesday by themselves.
Yeah.
Everyone else is on Monday, except for now people are moving to Sunday.
Right.
I think last year it was Nintendo, and I think the year before was Xbox. That was the year they announced Project Scorpio or X. They announced backwards compatibility and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's tough for either Sony or Xbox to really win a conference without coming out with an entirely new console. Because when people go to their conferences, that's mostly what they're looking for. I mean, obviously they make games too, but
I think that if they
like
announced a really good new game, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that's what it takes though, like a new idea, like a cool looking new idea. And when it's just stuff that's expected, like Call of Duty, Halo, sports, it just loses a lot of its weight, I guess, as far as like excitement goes. I would give it to I'm gonna give it to Nintendo again. I think they're a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give the edge to Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like they've got Smash Bros coming. They're just first party IP is just so great.
Right.
And they've got Smash coming out this year and a Pokemon game. Like, in addition to that, what else they can do that we're not expecting. Like, I feel like they have the best chance to exceed our expectations, at least meet them.
Right.
Versus, like, I feel like Xbox, Sony, Ubisoft, Bethesda, and EA can all miss our expectations. I think they
really
could. Yeah, I feel like it's hard for Nintendo to miss that. Even though they have like really high expectations for their games, right?
Right.
Like their expectations are simultaneously low and high because like their games are so good, but like you're not expecting like these like weird games that they come out with.
Right. Yeah.
They always seem to throw something that no one's thinking of. So yeah, give the edge to Nintendo. I think we agree on that.
Yeah, the only way like Bethesda would have it is if 76 is amazing.
Right.
Like they come out and they're like, it is a new Fallout game, RP, fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Just what you wanted.
But yeah. All right, I think that does it for us on this episode of the Clever and Original Podcast. Jay, if people want to find you on the social media sphere, where can they do that?
If you want to come find me, you can find me on Twitter at Jayden Reinhart.
And if you want to find me on social media, you can find me on Twitter at Kody Misialek. You can find us all at Clever_Original on Twitter. And as you are right now, listen to us each and every week on SoundCloud, iTunes, and other podcast services. And we'll catch you next week on episode 149, the E3 week.
Yeah. Woo.